Hello. Is it working? Right. It's Christmas nearly. It's getting towards Christmas again. Do you remember last Christmas? Do you remember last Christmas? I do. This is about Miriam. Did you know Miriam? She was a very old lady. Right. No, I'm not joking. This is about last Christmas Day. Well, you want to talk about Christmas, it's fucking October, isn't it? But you want to talk about Christmas, fine. Last Christmas Day, 25th. I was trying to feed shit into an old woman. I was trying to feed fucking shite into an old woman last Christmas Day. I remember Christmas Day, 25th of December, innit? That's Christmas Day, innit? 25th of December? Yeah. Well, I was trying to shovel vomit into an old woman's mouth. I was actually working down in Greenacres, actually. It wasn't your fault, but, oh, come on. Would you eat that shite? About Greenacres, yeah. I was working down at Greenacres for a day, voluntary sort of thing for Christmas Day. And I was trying to feed this old woman with this minced up fucking shite food. You had to mince the food. It's horrible. Ugh. Would you want to eat that shit? Trying to keep this really 90-year-old woman or whatever. She was dying. Miriam was in fact dying. And I was trying to feed her with this crap. I've got a better idea. Can I give you a new menu? Actually, about Greenacres, you know, about the caring home, and they do a hell of a job. You do. Christmas Day, I think you lost 3 people in the morning. I don't know how you do your job. About Greenacres, you know? I'll be there tomorrow, post notes. It's looking after really, really old people, like. Because I went there on a voluntary basis, you know, I was there for one day, just one day. Well, one couple of hours, really. And these old people just sitting there going, you ready to die yet? Problem is, actually, a good point, you know, and the food looked like shite. It was horrible. I wouldn't even touch it. I couldn't even touch it. It's hard to smell it. But I had to feed this old woman. Well, I was doing it voluntarily. I tried my Christmas Day trick, you know, Christmas Day. And I was feeding this old woman, Miriam. It was Miriam. Yes, it was. It was Miriam. She's about 90 years old, like 95 years old. I don't know, she was just sort of, I'm ready to die. I really wanted to put a pillow on her face. God's honest truth. I would rather have put a pillow on her face and let her fucking die. You know what I mean? But the point is, I was feeding this old woman. That's what I was thinking when I was feeding this old woman. I said, I was trying to feed her, this Miriam. I was trying to feed Miriam. And I was trying to get food, this minced up shit. And it smelt like shit. It's horrible. So I've got a few more menus. I've got a menu for you. Rather than feeding minced up shit to old people in the old folks home when they're dying, better idea. But 3 bananas, 3 eggs, right? 3 eggs, 3 bananas, and about 3/4 of a pint of milk in the liquidizer, right? You put 3 bananas in the liquidizer with 3 eggs. 3 eggs for the protein. For the protein, you have 3 eggs. And about 3/4 of a milk. And that's what you want to give them. Give them that. So it tastes like milkshake. So you're feeding them milkshake. Rather than trying to feed old people pieces of shit, you give them milkshake, you see. And that will sustain the body for a whole 24 hours. Did you know I have virtually not eaten not a lot of food for the last year? And I have been eating 3 bananas, 3 eggs, and 3/4 of a pint. Well, 3 and 3/4 of it. Well, when I'm working, I drink 3 pints of milk when I'm working. When I'm working, I drink 3 pints of milk. But I've hardly had any food in the last year, man. Because that fills me up. Or pea soup, pea and potato soup. Instead of mincing up food for old people, instead of just mincing up old people's food, you know, like mincing up the carrots or shite. It looks like shite, tastes like shite. Right? Instead of doing that, what you want to do is you want to sort of like have something like, how about potatoes and pea soup? Pea and potato soup. Carrot soup is quite nice as well. Soups are quite nice. If you're trying to feed nearly dead people, and let's face it, Miriam was nearly dead. It was Christmas Day. You know, I mean, at least give them something decent to eat, like potato soup, carrot soup. Give them a soup. Instead of trying to mince up shite, give them a decent soup. And that will fill you up as much. You get as much vitamin out of soup as you do in a roast meal, as in any other food. Oxtail soup, you get the beef. You get all the beef vitamins in oxtail soup. You get all the potato vitamins in potato soup, and the peas vitamins in the pea soup. Instead of trying to feed old people shite in a nursing home, and you mince up the food, don't you, in the nursing home? See, Miriam. Do you remember Miriam in Greenacres on Christmas Day? So, do you remember Miriam in Greenacres on Christmas Day? And she was like virtually nearly dead. And I was trying to force feed her with this fucking shite. I was trying to force feed Miriam. Very old lady. Really like almost skeleton like. You know, she was like a skeleton like Miriam was. Seriously, she was like a skeleton. A living skeleton, almost dying, but not quite, you know. And I had to try and feed her with this fucking shit. And it smelled like shit. You minced everything and sort of like, God, that smells like shit. And I was trying to feed this old woman. I was trying to feed this really old woman with shit. I was trying to feed an old woman with a piece of shit. You know what I mean? The food looked like shit, smelled like shit, probably tasted even worse. It was crap. But if you give them something like milkshakes, 3 bananas, 3 eggs, and 3/4 of a pint of milk, that will sustain a person for an entire day. That's all I've been drinking lately. I haven't been eating lately. Because I'm a fucking crap cook. I'm probably the world's worst cook. I tried to cook a fucking steak and set the kitchen on fire. You know what I mean? I thought I'd have a nice steak, and the kitchen went on smoky. And I've tried to cook chips and I set the kitchen on fire. I'm not very good at cooking at all. I'm Bill. I'm not very good at cooking at all. But actually, for the most part, every day, what I eat is 3 bananas, 3 eggs, and 3/4 of a pint of milk to fill up my body. And maybe 3 pints of milk when I'm working, which will be in the morning. Hopefully I'll be back to work as a postman in the morning. But I'm just saying, I sort of like, it's better than trying to feed old people shite. Trying to give them, grind it up. All paralysed people with brain tumours, like Jackie had to eat it as well. Jackie had to eat that hospital shit as well. My big sister, Jackie, she died with a blood clot in her brain. I remember now. My big sister, Jackie, she died with a blood clot in her brain in 2012. Like. But when my big sister was dying, she had to eat all this hospital shit. I'm thinking, oh, gross, get off it. What you should give to people who can't eat is soup. Believe me, honest to God, what you need to give You know how it is when people get paralysed or people get very, very old and they can't eat and all they can eat is soft stuff or they've got no teeth? Ha, talk to the devil. I got no teeth either. Look at that, that's my teeth. I said, that's my teeth. I said, talk to the devil. That's my teeth. Completely fucked up, like. But I can't be bothered. I'm not a very good cook, like. I can't bother to cook. When I try cooking, it all burns up in flames. I'm a terrible cook. I am very lonely. I live on my own. I'm built. Well, I've got plenty of mates, but I live on my own. I'm built. But the point is, it's like, sort of like, in these old people's homes, and they're trying to feed them with this sort of like liquidized sludge, and it's horrible smelling. God, and you have to, and I had to try on Christmas Day. It's about Christmas Day, you see, 2014. Last Christmas. It's about last Christmas Day, and I had nothing to do like on last Christmas Day, so I worked down in the old. So I worked last Christmas Day. I worked down in the old people's home, like, and I had to try and force feed Miriam, this really old lady. She's about 99-something years old, like skeleton, like. And I was trying to feed shit into her mouth, and I think this is not very nice, because would you want to eat shit when you're dying? When you're a really old lady and you're dying, would you want to eat crap? Would you really want to eat something that tastes like shit? No. How about using soup? Instead of trying to force feed old people with minced up foods that taste like shit, why don't you give the old people something like I said, bananas and eggs, or actually a good one is pea and potato soup. Pea and potato soup is really nice. I might grab some of that myself actually tomorrow. Pea and potato soup. That's really nice when you're hungry. Or even using sort of like mushy peas and making pea soup, or to feed the very old people who are dying, kind of thing. Because I was sitting next to Miriam, right? She must have been about 92, 93, and she's just like sitting there, sort of like fading away. This poor old little old lady, Miriam, which is what this one is all about. Poor little Miriam. She was like sitting there fading away, sort of thing. And I was trying to force feed her these minced carrots, minced potato, this is ridiculous, and it smelled like shit. I was trying to force feed her like shit. It wasn't very nice last Christmas. Last Christmas was not very nice because I was trying to sort of like I was trying to force feed it. I was trying to feed Miriam. I was trying to feed Miriam last Christmas. She was about 92 in this Green Acres life. And I was trying to force feed Miriam. And sort of like with this sludge, which was sort of like minced up carrot. And I was thinking, this is revolting. Looks revolting. Smells revolting. So actually, instead of trying to give them sludge, give them soup. Right? The old people who can't eat properly. Right? Seriously, for God's sake. In these old folks' homes, like, for the old people, instead of giving them sludge, give them milkshakes and give them soup. Seriously, give the old people soup. Potato soup has all the vitamins of a potato. Oxtail soup has all the vitamins of a cow. I might have some oxtail in a minute. Oxtail soup has all the vitamins of a cow. Pea soup has all the vitamins of peas. If they can't eat food, give them soup. Just give the old people soup when they're dying. Instead of trying to sort of like force feed them with this minced up crap, give them soup when they're dying. I might have some myself now. Do you mind? I'm going to stop this film. Anyway, this is for Miriam. Sorry I had to feed you shit. I'm very sorry I had to try and feed you crap. I could have given you pea soup or pea and potato soup or oxtail soup would have fucking kept your body. But you're dying in a way, aren't you? But you don't want to be fed with shit. You don't really want shit in your mouth when you're dying, do you? And that food, I'm sorry, and that fucking the food they're giving to old people when they're dying. Like, well, I'm going to be there one day. It's crap. It's horrible. It doesn't smell very nice. It's not nice trying to force feed old people with crap. Do you know what I mean?